Disposing of life. Spiritual healing. From the Gospel of Peace. And on the banks of a river, many sick people fasted and prayed together with God's angels for 7 days and 7 nights. And great was their reward, for they followed Jesus' word. And on the 7th day, all their pain left them. Note: spiritual healing obviously exists, but it also requires devotion and openness. 7 days is perhaps a symbolic number and could mean a very long time. Fasting is a good way to cleanse the body and spirit. During my 40 days of fasting, my spiritual senses were particularly alert. And as the sun rose above the edge of the earth, they saw Jesus coming toward them from the mountains, the glow of the rising sun around his head. "Peace be with you." And they said not a word, but only bowed down before him and touched the hem of his garment as a sign of their healing. Do not thank me, thank your Earth Mother, who sent you her healing angels. Note: yes, we have a spiritual team, confirmed by Christina von Dreyen and many others, who stand by us to help and protect us. But they also want to be addressed, because they do not interfere with human freedom. Not even in a positive way. Verse: go now and sin no more, so that you will never be sick again. And let the healing angels be your guardians. Note: illness also has something to do with sin or an unhealthy lifestyle, but not every illness or accident. That is why we must be vigilant about what and who makes us sick or wants to drive us to war. It is our freedom to allow this or to ward it off. What is monetary gain for one person is harm for another. That is the challenge. Verse: but they replied, "Where shall we go, Master? The words of eternal life are with you. Tell us, what are the sins we must avoid so that we will never be sick again?" Jesus replied, "So be it, as your faith desires." And he sat down among them and taught them. To those of old it was said, "Honor your Father in heaven and your Earth Mother, and keep their commandments, that you may live long on this earth." Note: here, Mother Earth is also addressed, who brings forth life and nourishment and whom we should honor and not destroy. The indigenous peoples also had a very intense relationship with Mother Earth. In order to distinguish itself from these nature religions, the Church sacrificed its relationship with Mother Earth, which was not good. We are currently destroying part of our basis of life. If we value and honor Mother Earth, we will begin to protect and preserve her. Verse: and the next commandment was, "Thou shalt not kill. For God gives life to all, and what God has given, man shall not take away. For I tell you truly, everything that lives on earth comes from the one mother. Therefore, whoever kills his brother. And Mother Earth will turn away from him and withdraw her life-giving breasts from him. And her angels will shun him, and Satan will take up residence in his body. And the flesh of the animals will become his own grave in his body." Note: we did not create life, so we should not dispose of it. Neither our own lives, nor those of our fellow human beings, not even in war, nor those of animals. We should not destroy nature either, but practice sustainable agriculture. This is possible. Verse: for truly I say unto you, whoever kills himself, and whoever eats the flesh of murdered animals eats from the body of death. For in his blood every drop of their blood becomes poison, in his breath their breath begins to stink, in his flesh their flesh begins to rot, in his bones their bones become chalky, in his entrails their entrails begin to rot, in his eyes their eyes begin to flake off, from his ears their ears flow like soft wax. And their death becomes his death. Note: here, the consumption of meat is very clearly discouraged. For killing is a serious offense and obviously also applies to animals. And indeed, vegetarians have much more pleasant body odors than meat eaters. Even babies' stools smell very unpleasant as soon as they eat meat. And indeed, eating a lot of meat also leads to many diseases such as gout, etc. Verse: For only in the service of your Father in heaven will your debts of 7 years be forgiven in 7 days. But Satan will not forgive you anything. You must pay him everything. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot, fire for fire, wound for wound, life for life, death for death. For the wages of sin is death. Note: this is about the basic law of the cosmos. What we destroy or bring into the world as negativity will also fall back on us, in this life or another, as the next section also testifies. Verse: For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous and zealous God, and I punish the sins of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me. Note: without rebirth of the soul, this statement makes no sense. It would be very unjust, and God is absolutely not that. This means that we carry our deeds with us across different lives, both the good and the bad. This explains a lot. But not all suffering is caused by our own fault. Much of it is also necessary for our development and ascension. Did not Jesus also suffer greatly? With this awareness, there is also joy in every suffering, as it brings us closer to the light. And this path is not always easy.